We all have grown up believing that the sun is a big star. Earth is a globe and planet. The light of the moon is a reflection of the sun, and the list goes on. What if I tell you that all these years we have lived in a fool's paradise? Yes. The sun is not a big star. Earth is not a globe and planet. Neither the light of a moon is a reflection of the sun. Most of the things they have told us are completely opposite to what God has said in the Bible. These facts seem hard to digest, but the reality is for centuries, astrophysicists have talked us into believing in a fake solar system. This is the reason I have written this book, The Solar System as We Know It Does Not Exist, to help you unpack the truth about the universe yourself. So what are you waiting for? Book your copy today.
The topic of this video is the characteristics of the universe. Never in the history of human consciousness have people that look normal but entertain irrational and stupid ideas. The people that originated these ideas are the Greeks. Since they have limited knowledge about science, I do not fault them. Because they had limited knowledge about the universe, they visualized the earth as a big ball and the sun as another big ball revolving around the earth. With our present scientific knowledge, I see no reason why someone who claims to have studied the universe can entertain that stupid idea. The main actor who is in the forefront of promoting that stupid and irrational idea is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse said, "Religion ignores evidence." I want to know what he means by religion. Does he mean Buddhism? Does he mean Shintoism? Or Islam? Or Christianity and Judaism? Christianity and Judaism are one and the same. As a Christian, I am going to speak on behalf of my God, Jesus Christ. Neil deGrasse, because he used the Bible instead of the Quran or any other religious book, I will assume that you are talking about Christianity. Neil, before you open your mouth to comment about anything, you first have to do your research about it. In that case, I'm going to explain to you the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament. You seem to have a contorted view or understanding of the Old and New Testament. I'm not surprised. Bill Maher also had that stupid understanding of the Old and New Testament. The God in the Old Testament is the same God in the New Testament. He gave his name in the Old Testament and in the New Testament also. His name is I Am, or Yahweh. Jesus told the Jews in the New Testament when they asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "I am." The same name. That is why they told him, "You make yourself God." He also told the Jews, "Go and read the books of Moses. He, Moses, was writing about me." In the Old Testament, he was king. You don't mess around with a king. In the New Testament, he set an example of how to live in that kingdom, which he promised to set, and also to sacrifice himself for our freedom and our lives. He taught human beings how to live as a subject of that kingdom, which he promised to establish. I know you will say, why does God, if there is one, have to undergo all this as a sacrifice for our freedom and allow all these sufferings in the world? When I listen to you, you sound like a toddler with a curious mind, not based on wanting to know, but thinks he knows the answer. The answer he sees does not make sense. If I give you an answer, it will be speculative. I don't know the mind of God. All you have to do is to read the Bible. Maybe the lights will come on in your brain. But you have to ask for it sincerely. So you said, and since you said religion ignores evidence, I guess you are talking about Jesus Christ and Christianity. You said if you Google the word God, you get a whole list of gods from different cultures. To you, all those gods are the same and equal. When you use that as an example, it tells me you are not smart. You can't tell the genuine from the fake. God does not have to answer to you, neither does he have to explain to you about the universe. Now I'm going to ask you, and you tell me what evidence you are talking about. Since you know what evidence, and since I know what evidence you are talking about, I will tell you if there are evidence. Once I know what evidence you are talking about, I will tell you if there are evidence at all. I put numerical value in information I give out about the universe. They are estimate and roughly reflect the information in the Bible. The numbers I put out are not in the Bible, but they will reflect what to expect if you want to pin the value in numbers. Below is the description and characteristics of the universe according to the Bible. The universe is geocentric. It's very easy to explain because God created the universe and then he created us in the universe. And no one has ever left the universe, the earth. He created the earth and then created human beings. For you, Nedegracia, the universe is no longer heliocentric but galactic-centric. The third point is nobody knows the size of the earth. Number 4, the earth does not move. 5, the earth is not a globe. Then dynamics of rotation will validate that. The earth is flat. The earth does not rotate. If it rotates, it will violate dynamics of balancing. What dynamic balancing? Number 8, the earth is not a planet. It's amazing that the word planet has been used by every person. Dumb people, smart people call the earth a planet and a globe. That is completely nonsense. Number 9, the sun moves in a circle on a flat earth. Number 10, the phenomenon that explains the speed of the sun is called analemma. Analemma traces the speed of the sun as it moves from the Tropic of Cancer through the equator to the Tropic of Capricorn. It has been shown that the sun moves slowest in the Tropic of Cancer and fastest in the Tropic of Capricorn. The average speed is the equator. Number 11, the sun varies at its speed as it moves. The reason is the Tropic of Cancer is the smallest diameter or circle. The Tropic of Capricorn is the biggest. In between, you have the equator. At the equator, the sun moves at 1,037 miles about per hour. In the Tropic of Cancer, the sun moves at 960 miles per hour. In the Tropic of Capricorn, the sun moves at 1,121 miles per hour. That tells you the earth is not a globe. If it were, the fast step would have been 1,037 at the equator, and then it slows down as it goes north or south. But it's not the case. That's the proof there that the earth is flat. The sun is less than 5,000 miles from the earth. This is something you can prove. I created a formula on how to measure the distance between the sun and the earth. Number 14, that was number 13. Number 14 is the sun is less than 40 miles across. I think most of you will be surprised because the astrophysicists have programmed us to believe a lie, and they know that. The sun is small and the moon is small. Both of them are about the same size. The moon moves in a circle on a flat earth. 16, the moon is less than 5,000 miles from the earth. Number 17, the moon is less than 40 miles across. It's something you can perform an experiment to measure it. Number 18, type of light. The type of light that comes from the sun is different from the light that comes from the moon. The light from the moon cools objects on the earth. You can perform an experiment to prove it. The light that comes from the sun, they warm things up. We all know that. But most of us never check what effect the light from the moon has on objects. If you remember, in a bright moonlight, you feel cold. And you can perform that experiment also. All latitudes are imaginary circles around the North Pole. And if they are on the same altitude, they are on the same plane. Number 19, all latitudes are imaginary circles around the North Pole. And 20, all longitudes are imaginary straight lines from the North Pole. Number 21, the North Pole is a point. Number 22, the South Pole is a circle of land. you call Antarctica continent. Number 23, the latitudes must be expressed in distances, not in degrees. Because all the latitudes are diameters from the North Pole. So to express them in degrees is wrong. It's not correct. Number 24, longitudes must be expressed in degrees. 25, the longitudes start from North Pole to the firmament. If you pass Antarctica, you go further, you'll meet the firmament. That I'm sure about. Number 26, there is no solar system. None. When you calculate the height of the sun from the Earth, you can know that there's no space between the sun and the Earth. So therefore, if there are planets, which I know they are not the ways they are telling us, they have to be very small. And they do not travel with the sun. They don't go around the sun. Now, if I ask you, Neil deGrasse, if the Earth is heliocentric or geocentric, your obvious answer will be heliocentric. So I will assume that you will say the Earth is heliocentric. Do you understand science, or are you sent there to spew nonsensical ideas and concepts to push a narrative that is irrational and stupid? If the universe is heliocentric, how far is the sun from the Earth? I know you have an answer to that. You will say it's 93 million miles on average. If your answer is 93 million miles on average, how did you come to that number? I bet you don't know. Or you know, or you rather lie. That's the point. Well, that number is irrational. I can give you a rational number. According to you, a day is created by rotation of the Earth. In that case, what happens if we fly on an aircraft going east to west or going west to east? If you go east to west, all cities will be traveling very fast towards you. What about the north to south? If you fly north to south, can you calculate the velocity of each city located on the Earth, if your assumption of a globe is correct? Neil, have you ever studied dynamics of rotation? You don't know that. Or even if you knew, maybe you don't understand, or you prefer to lie about it, Neil. What happens when objects rotate? Have you ever studied that? Because when you understand that, you will not spew that stupid idea that the Earth is a globe. It cannot be a globe. What happens if objects are dynamically unbalanced? Maybe if you understand that terminology, you will never say the Earth is a globe spinning. What happens if you fly For example, you leave London, going to Accra in Africa, they're about the same longitude. By the time you arrive in Accra, Accra has gone eastward by thousands of miles. Well, so what happens? You see, when I say you are seeing some stupid and irrational things, all you need is use logic. So if an aircraft is flying from Helsinki to Nairobi, by the time you reach Nairobi, Nairobi has moved eastward thousands of miles. Now you're going to tell me, well, the Earth and the aircraft will align. You must be out of your mind. That's why God said the Earth does not move. Have you studied interaction between gas, liquid, and solids? When you put them in motion, what happens? Neil deGrasse said, you don't know. What happens when rotating objects are dynamically unbalanced? I'll give you an example. You never studied gas turbine, propeller shaft, what engineers have to do to make sure those objects are dynamically balanced. The inability of human beings to create a dynamically balanced object, that's the cause of vibration, the cause of noise. The closer you are to dynamically balanced and rotating object, the quieter it's going to be. You have to understand, Neil, that the Earth does not have bearing. If the Earth is a ball and is spinning, and almost half of it is water, so your density there is less, and the other continents are solids. So if the Earth is a ball, as you claim, the Earth will go off balance quickly. It will wobble quickly. You try to do it. Create a model of the Earth and try to spin it. Neil, you are some damn stupid guy, but claim to say you know. You have no idea what you're talking about. Have you studied the curvature of the Earth, or have you applied that, and have you applied that knowledge to the Earth? I have many more questions that you don't know that are pertinent to the subject matter. When you are asked why the sky is blue, you gave an answer that told me you have no idea what you're talking about. And your answer is irrational, unrelated, and stupid. The most dangerous person is one who does not know but claims that he knows. Arrogance and narcissism are traits that are very dangerous to any person. Neil deGrasse, you have those traits. You claim to know, but you don't know. And people look at you because you claim to be a scientist, and people think you know. Because they don't know what you're talking about. And I know. What you are saying is the most irrational thing I've ever imagined. For a globe, and you claim it's going around the sun is close. You're going to tell me that a sun that's just about, even when it's 10,000, the Earth is so big that you're going to tell me that the earth is going around that small object and it's easy to calculate. That's the reason you tell people the sun is 93 million miles away. When you know, if you don't know that, you are a donkey. I can't believe that you don't know the size of the earth. Nobody knows, in fact. You don't know, nobody knows, but you claim to know. That's the problem. And exactly, when you read the Bible tells you exactly that we can't tell because we are created in an environment which is already been created. So there's no way, nobody has ever left the earth. The reason why it sounds to many people that have been, indoctrinated, because we are very small. And if 1,000 miles, imagine, you need 946 people head to foot to fit in a mile. So 1,000 miles is 946,000 people to fit in a mile. So imagine imagine you flying from the aircraft to the earth is just about 6 miles, 6.5 miles. So if God made the earth 5,000 miles, it looks like forever. But it's not. For him, it's not. So we don't know. And you don't know. So what I'm telling you is, Nidigracia, all these fake space travel satellites, I see through them. I used to subscribe to that stupid idea that you promoted. Now I don't, because I know the truth now. To demolish the idea that the earth is a globe, what I'm going to do is prove that the earth is flat. Once I've provided evidence that the earth is flat, I will show you and those who subscribe to your unscientific knowledge how to calculate the distance between the earth and the sun. The diagram below shows how to determine the curvature of the earth. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly the formula that I've created to show that the sun is very close. When you read that, when you watch that, you'll have an understanding. Okay, this is the scientific proof that the earth is not a globe. Now, I made these two diagrams. It's not endorsement that the earth is a globe. I'm making it to show you what will be if the earth were a globe. First of all, we go to geometry, because geometry deals with shapes, distances, and all the things that you need to know. So in geometry, we say that if you have a circle and a line having one point in common with that circle, the line is called a tangent. The line has to be 90 degrees from the common point. This is common point, joining the center of the circle. The theorem is, if a tangent, if you move from the common point of the tangent, any point on the tangent will be further from the center of the circle than the common point. That means R1 is longer than R is the radius from the common point to the center of the circle. And in geometry, of course, in trigonometry or algebra, we say that R squared, this is TO, which is R1. If you square it, it's going to be the sum of the two squares, R squared plus L squared, because this is 90 degrees. Now, that means R1 is TO, and TK, that's the difference, the length that is long. The R1 is longer than R by TK. That's what I mean here. TK is equal to R1 minus R. That is H. The difference in height as you move along the tangent and the circle, they separate. The circle goes this way, the tangent goes straight. Now, let's use this knowledge on the earth and see if this phenomena that you can observe here can be observed here. Now, let's say you find a telescope here or a laser beam, you put it here, send a beam of light 90 degrees to it has to be horizontal to the vertical, 90 degrees. That's why I put it here. As you move, if you send it to 10 miles away, this object will have a longer radius compared to the Earth than the common point, just like I showed here. And as you can see, H, that's how much an object will drop below the horizon. This is H. It's R1 minus R2. This is the circle of the Earth. So therefore, we observe an object far away, 10 miles. That object elevation must be higher than the elevation of the common point, or the telescope in this case. If you go to Chicago, across Lake Michigan, you can stand on the beach, and you can see the beach across Chicago. In fact, you can see Chicago from top to bottom. If the Earth is a globe, you should not be able to see Chicago, because some of it will hide behind the curvature. Because if you look at it horizontally, you can only see the top. And this has been proven many times. So the astrophysicists want to lie to us that that's a mirage, which is complete nonsense. We know what a mirage is, but they are doing all they can to confuse people. I can tell you with the knowledge I have that that's not a mirage, that shows the earth is flat. If the earth is not flat, you should be able to see only the tip of a building in Chicago that's more than 1,060, around 1,060 something miles.
Feet.
So that tells you the earth is flat.
If you want to also prove the earth is flat,
is you stand on the beach, take a telescope, and see how far you can see the shoreline. If the shoreline appears beyond 3 miles, you can still see it, the earth is flat. They know that. The reason why they want to confuse you is because if the earth is flat, all the nonsensical things about solar system and all the rest of it will not fit. They are lying to us. 100% they know the earth is flat. Now, besides that, I took the view that if the earth is a globe as they claim, I use this equation. Let's say a mile, an aircraft is flying at 600 miles per hour. So it goes how many miles per minute? 10 miles. Now I took that equation, I put it here. That means h, how much the aircraft is changing direction. I'm not saying it's falling. Falling means it completely changing direction for it to catch up with the radius of the earth. So I found out that h, how much the aircraft will go down, will be 66.6 feet per minute. That is 1.1 feet per second. It's like riding a carousel of 10 feet radius, and you will have, and it's going at around 4 feet, 4 revs per minute. So when they tell you that the earth is a globe, complete nonsense. It's not possible. The earth is completely flat. That's the reason you can fly over the earth. You have no G-force. If the earth is a globe, you will experience G-force. They are lying to us. They know that. It's not that they don't know, but they think we are not smart enough, or they have their own agenda. If the earth is a globe, if the earth is not a globe, they will not be able to add all this stupid idea that the earth is moving. The earth is not moving. The earth is flat, exactly what the Bible says. And in the next one, I'm going to show you how we can calculate the height of the sun and the moon. This is not a complex mathematics. It's very easy. They know it, but they're trying to hide it, because that's why they told the sun is 93 million miles away, which is complete nonsense. As you can see, if you take this, I come back here so you know exactly, I'm not telling the earth is this way. If you stand here, which is the common point, and send a beam of light, anything that you see, all you have to do to prove the earth is flat is measure the elevation here and measure the elevation of the object that you see or the beam of light hit, and compare these two elevations. If they are the same, the earth is flat. If this one is higher than this, the earth is a globe, or a convex, we call it. This is the presentation to prove that the earth is flat. It cannot be, the earth cannot be a globe. It's impossible. They know that. Neil deGrasse and all his gang of liars, they are determined to mislead us, because if the earth is not a globe, they cannot explain where they got their solar system. 100%. They cannot explain. It doesn't fit in. That's why the Bible does not have a solar system, because it doesn't exist. There's no solar system in the universe that we know. First of all, the universe is geocentric. It's not heliocentric. The sun is small, and I'm going to show you exactly how far the sun is from the earth. Now, let me give you, the next thing is I'm going to prove to you that the sun is very close. So take this out. Let's see. Now, I want you to see, as I already shown, that the earth is flat. If the earth is flat, that means the longitudes are straight lines. They are not curved. They are not curved. The only circle you can get is the latitude. And there are circles that spread out. The closer they are to the North Pole, the smaller they are. The sun moves around the North Pole. So how are we going to calculate the height of the sun? Now I want you to see, I selected two latitudes. The latitudes I selected are 25 degrees north. The reason why it's 25 degrees north is the sun is never on 25. It goes at 23 and a half, so to speak. And I selected another latitude, 45 degrees. Between them is 20 degrees. There's only one longitude. This is 105 in the United States. You can change it to another continent. These are the two. So I put a sextant here, X1. Its location is going to be 25 degrees north and 105 west. The other sextant will be 45 degrees north and 105 west. We're going to measure the angle of elevation of the sun when the sun is exactly on 105 west. These 2 points, the sun, sextant 1, sextant 2, they have to be on the same plane, a vertical plane. It should not lean. This one should not pass here or before here, the 105 west. Now, we installed sextant on X1 and X2 to measure angle alpha and angle beta. Angle alpha, angle beta. Once you measure that angle, now we go to the next step where that's how you calculate H is the height of the sun to the earth. The distance from the two sextants is L. We know that that's 20 degrees between them, but you see, L is equal to X2 minus X1, which is equal to 45 degrees north. This L is equal to X2 minus X1. That's equal to 45 degrees north minus 25 degrees north. That's 20 degrees. We know that 1 degree is equal to 69 miles, approximately. Because remember, these numbers are taken with the assumption that the earth is a globe, and it's not correct. But I will use them because these are concrete values. They are not 100%, but they are very close. Now, 20 degrees that would be 69 miles times 20, that would be 1,380 miles from sextant 1 and sextant 2. When you want to measure these angles, you have to make sure the sun is right over here, and do it simultaneously. You don't measure this and come and measure this. All the angles must be measured simultaneously. Now I'm going to give you another diagram that will tell you how to get how to deduce an equation that will tell you how high the sun is. Now I'm going to turn Now I want you to see exactly the continuation of that. If you have forgotten your trigonometry, in this triangle, if you have A, B, C, you see always, this is a capital, the angle is represented by uppercase letter, and the side opposite it is represented by a lowercase of the same letter. So this is A because it's opposite to A. This is B because it's opposite to B. And this is C because it's opposite to C. The formula is A over sine A is equal to B over sine B, and it's equal to C over sine C. Now, I want you to be familiarized with this so we can go back to the equation that how we can deduct the formula. If you remember the diagram I showed you on the other side, I can project it here. L over sine theta is equal to B over sine beta. From this equation, we know that beta is equal to L sine, B is equal to L sine beta divided by sine theta. But we also know the other triangle. We know that sine alpha is equal to H over B. So therefore, H is equal to B sine alpha. We substitute B in the equation. We have L sine beta, which is this, divided by sine theta times sine alpha. This is the height of the sun. Anybody that tells you the sun is 93 million miles away, either is stupid or is trying to deceive you. That's the height of the sun. All we need to do is measure the angles better, make sure we put the distance, and alpha and beta, measure those angles, and sine theta is sine alpha minus sine beta. As you can see, theta is equal to alpha minus sine beta. So therefore, as the angle B approaches the value of alpha, theta becomes 0 and height becomes infinity. In other words, the two sextant, this is sextant 1 for this angle, and this is sextant 2 for this angle. When they are almost parallel, Then h, which is the height of the sun, approaches infinity. For them to have 93 million miles, the two sextant 1 and sextant 2, will almost have to be parallel. The angle, that means an angle beta is almost equal to angle alpha. I am 100% sure that possibility. I have to go and measure those angles, and I'm sure it will not happen. That's why I said for the sun to be 93 million miles away, the two sextant, the light coming from the sun have to be parallel, and it's not almost parallel, and it's not the case. This is the equation to calculate the height of the sun. If you are a professor of mathematics or a student, I want you to debunk this equation. I want you to remember what I said when I showed you the diagram, how you can set it up. So I ask anybody, not only, especially Neil deGrasse, a lion chief. He says all kinds of things to wiggle himself. He represents the most deceptive organization, NASA, to destroy the belief. The thing is, they are trying to prove that the Bible is wrong. The Bible is a fairy tale. They are creating a stupid universe, which is not true. It's not possible. This is the equation to the sun. The sun is very small. Very small. You're talking about less than 40 miles. There is no solar system because the Earth cannot go around an object which is just about, you see, I took the value of alpha, 80 degrees, and beta, I put it 72. I got a distance from the Earth, h, less than 10,000 miles. If we measure these two angles, these are the only two angles you need to measure. And make sure you put the latitudes and the longitudes are correct. The distance. So you have the one I just said, 1,380 miles. You can go back. That's the length of L based on the calculation. I took 20 degrees, and each degree is 69 miles. Multiplied by 20 is 80 miles. When you put it in this equation, all you need to do is measure the angle beta, which is the sextant further than the other one. Alpha is the one nearest to the equator. And of course, sine theta is the difference of the two. If you look at the equation, I'll turn it again so you can see exactly what I mean by that. I want you to take this equation, and if you know, try to, if you think I'm wrong, I want you to debunk it and give me an answer. Don't just cook. Let me revise this again so you know exactly what I mean. Let me see. Okay, now, maybe I can edit it. Now let me go back so you remember what I said. You put your sextant 1 to measure angle alpha. Let me see. I can't see this. Okay, as you can see, you measure this angle, the original videos, okay. You measure this angle, distance between them is 1,380 miles. That's the value. Angle alpha, angle beta. If the sun is very far away, this angle will almost come close to being equal. Angle beta and angle alpha will almost be equal. And based on that, the sun, if the sun is 93 million miles away, these two angles will almost be equal. So when they are telling you the sun is 93 million miles away, it's complete nonsense. They are just making it up. This is exactly in line with the Bible. The Bible said the sun is close. There is just there to illuminate the earth. Illuminate the earth. There is no such thing as solar system. They are just making it up. It's a stupid idea, in fact, when you look at it. The sun is so close that you don't need to be a scientist to know it's close. You just triangulate this, you get the answer. And that's my main objective. I want to make sure I perform this experiment to prove where the sun is. I'm sure it's going to be less than 10,000 or even the region of 5,000, not 93 million miles. These people are not. They lie to us. You can see the lie. That their goal is to tell us the Bible is a fairy tale. That's their goal. No more than that. And they know they are lying. So when they tell you that we're going to launch a rocket to go to the moon, well, because most of us don't understand what they are talking about. We look at it because what they are saying is true. Nobody goes to the moon. Nobody can. Once you know that the sun and the moon, they are about the same height, they are less than 10,000, I can say 5,000 miles up, all their stories will fall apart. So look at this, install sextant on X1 and X2 to measure alpha and beta. And once you measure it, you put this value, you can know exactly where the sun is.